Yeah, there we are. So, perfect. Okay, let's get started. Um, just let me see if this is okay. Let me change this a little bit. Oh, dat is weer gewijzigd. Even kijken hoor. Oké. Okay, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We're gonna do a relaxed yoga stream in about 3 minutes. So if you want to get your mat, or like I have a rug, I have a mat underneath, but you can use a rug or a soft mat if you have one. And then we're gonna do a 40-minute relax yoga stream. Just gonna adjust my sound a little bit. Take your time to settle in. So I think this is better. Perfect. Welcome, welcome. Just take your time, get a mat, anything you like you can use. For example, if you like to sit on something, just take a block or a cushion or roll up a blanket, for example, which you can use to sit on or to put under your legs later on, to lay over your body in Shavasana, the final relaxation, of course, that's fine. If there's anything you want to say to me, you can do that in the chat, of course. Hi, Wilfried, welcome. Otherwise, you can put it in the comments later if you're watching the video. I always answer. I answer the comments and the stream later on. Of course, not during the yoga stream, which will be a bit difficult. Okay. Let me adjust this a little bit like this. Perfect. Okay. We're going to start in about a minute, so take your time. And again, if you feel like sitting on the ground, on the floor, it's fine. And you can just sit like this. Maybe you feel like stretching your feet out in front of you, your legs, that's cool too. You can always start on a chair. If sitting on the floor is very uncomfortable for you, or if you have a problem with your hips or your knees, whatever, just, you're free to make this into your own yoga class and to just adjust everything you want to make sure that it's comfortable for you. Okay, sometimes you can challenge yourself, and that's perfectly fine. But take into consideration any disabilities you have, any pains, anything to make it easier for you. Because this is a yoga stream, at least today, that you really want to relax into the poses, to relax into the breathing. And if you have an ache somewhere, or if you feel very uncomfortable, that's going to make it difficult to relax, okay? Because you keep being alert to what you feel, and if it's uncomfortable, you won't get rid of the sensation all the time. And sometimes it helps to lift your hips off the ground, like I said, on a block or a book or a folded blanket, anything. That way you tilt your pelvis forward, your back will be straight, and it's easier to relax the hips and the knees and the back. And that way you don't use too much belly muscle. And then you can breathe. It's easier to breathe if you can relax your belly. Okay, so if you're ready for it, let's get started. Okay. If you found a comfortable position to sit in, you can relax your hands on your legs, in your lap if you like, anything is fine. And take a few deep breaths just to kind of settle into this moment. I don't know if you had a busy day, or maybe you're just on alert. A lot of thoughts, a lot of things happening around you. And always give yourself a minute to land on this moment. Feel how you are sitting down, how your body kind of already relaxes a little bit because of the deep breathing, because of the realization that it can take today 40 minutes to ease up. So keep on breathing slowly in and out through the nose. If you want to breathe out through the mouth, that's fine. Try to make an S or an F sound to keep control over the breathing so that you don't release all the air at once. But just like you breathe out through the nose, you can breathe out through the mouth slowly. And it really helps if you can relax the belly. That way the breathing goes down almost on its own. And it can be just a little bit. Maybe you feel that when you breathe in, the belly comes out forward a little bit. And when you breathe out, it relaxes back again. And it could be that you are tired, that your body is tired, or your mind is tired, or that you told yourself you have to do this, you have to do some yoga because you need to relax. Try to feel for yourself if that's okay, if you want to join me in the poses, join me in the exercises, or maybe you feel like I would just like to lay down, to breathe and to just listen to the stream, listen to the video. Or watch it if you like. But you might just want to relax. Take these 40 minutes as a moment for you. And you can fill it in however you feel like. As long as you can take this time to unwind, take a breather out of your day, a moment just for you. And if the way is to do that through the poses, then by all means join me. And if you feel that you can do that by laying down and just breathing and listening, do that. In and out. And maybe you want to count your breaths, Count to 3 when you breathe in, and 3 counts out. Or maybe longer, that's fine too. Try to keep it natural. Try to keep your breathing natural, not too fast or too slow. Just follow your own rhythm, and you can always extend breathing out by a few seconds, or maybe just 1 or half a second. Try to make it as long or longer than when you breathe in. So 3 counts in and 3, 4, 5 out. Relax the shoulders and try to relax your face. You don't have to squint your eyes, just relax the eyes, the forehead, the frown you may have. And if you can, try to relax your jaw. Jaw is a very, very strong muscle. It's also a big player when it comes to headaches. So try to relax the entire jaw. And you might feel that your mouth falls open a little bit. That's fine, just let it. And when you relax the jaw, you might feel that the muscles from your ear all the way down to your shoulders can relax as well. You're not just separate parts. You're a whole person, and everything works on or through another part of the body. Relaxing one thing leads to relaxing the next, and the next, and the next. Try to take one more breath here. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes again. Take your time. You can keep them closed if you like. I always guide you through the poses with my voice, and you can just peek if you don't really understand or if you just want to check. Sometimes it's nice to keep your eyes closed, your focus completely on you, and so you don't get distracted by things that might be happening around you. And you can bring your hands together in front of your heart. And just breathe a few times here. You can apply a little bit of pressure if you like. Not too much, just enough to kind of circle the energy through your hands, your arms, your chest, or your back. And when you breathe in, you can bring the arms all the way up. Stretch yourself out. And when you breathe out, lower them slowly towards the sides of your body. Again, breathe in, bring the arms up from Namaste all the way to the ceiling and out all the way down. One more time, take your own pace at this. If you want to, you can still count your breaths. And out, relax. You can keep the arms sideways, tips of the fingers touching the ground. And when you breathe in, you can bring the left arm up, all the way up. And maybe this is enough. If you have some space, especially on the side, left side, you can place your right hand on the floor and you can slightly bend the left arm towards the right. Okay, keep on breathing. Try to open up so you can lift the sternum. That way you don't fall forward. You keep the front of your body long and open. Keep this active, so try not to hang on the right shoulder. Try to keep them away from the ears. One more stretch. When you breathe in, come back up. Breathe out, left arm down. I'm going to do the other way. Breathe in, bring the right arm up. Breathe out, if you want to, slowly stretch towards the left. Okay. If you want, you can... let me adjust my mic a little bit. If you want, you can look up. But it might be too much straining on the neck. So try to feel what's good for you. Always adjust the pose to make it fit you. Everybody's different, literally everybody. So you need to find the pose in a way that it suits your body. And that sometimes it's just a search. You have to do a pose many, many times and then find out, hey, this is good for me. Especially in relaxed yoga, don't force anything, just keep breathing. Okay, breathe in, come up, and out all the way down. Lower your hands slowly. And then you can roll your shoulders if you like. You can bring your hands on your knees. Slowly, slowly, just roll them to the front, up, and down towards the back. If you want to, you can take your back as well. So you can roll your back along with your arms. That way you take the whole upper part of your body along, rolling a little bit. If you want to, you can just shake it. Anytime if you feel there is any pose you like to do in between, or just a wiggle, or shake your hands, just do that. Okay, it's up to you. It's your party, as they say. Okay. You can stretch out one leg. Let's take the left one. Stretch out the left leg and bring the right leg in a little bit more. If you feel that you're kind of falling backwards in this position, again, lift yourself up, put something under your hips. That way you have a lot less straining on both of the hips, okay, and on the groin as well. You can bring the left hand on the inside of the left leg. And again, you can lift the right arm. Try to make yourself sit straight up first. And then, if you have room in your muscles, in your joints, again, we can stretch towards the left. Try to keep the left toes up a little bit so you keep the leg active. But there's a difference between using strength and straining or like putting a lot of tension in your leg, okay? If I don't put anything, it's just hanging. If I lift it a little bit, it's active. And if I pull it all the way towards me, it's pushing it. I don't want that. I just want to use some strength to activate my leg, to activate my foot, but not too much. Okay, so keep it light. And if you feel after a few breaths, hey, I'm going too far, you can come up a little bit. You can make the pose a little bit easier. Or if you have more space, you can just bow towards the left a little bit further. If you want to, you can hold your toe. Don't pull on your toe, just hold it lightly. Again, we're going to take everything easy today. Breathe in, activate your belly muscles, come up. And breathe out all the way down. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Left foot in, right foot out. Again, try to focus on your hips. Feel if you're okay, if you can sit straight up. Most important thing is that you can keep the back straight. You can use the muscles, but again, don't tense them. Right hand on the inside of the right leg. And the left hand comes up. Stretch yourself out and breathe out. Slowly towards the right, as much as you like. And it's easier to take it about 50 to 80%, and then see how you feel. And if you have more space, then you can bow further. It's easier for the body that way than when you go to 100% of your range of motion, and then discover that you're going too far, because then it will already be a little bit painful maybe. So always try 50 to 80% first. See how that feels, and if you want to go further, you can go further, and otherwise just stay there. Something's always happening in the body, even if you don't feel it. You're always doing something good, even if you don't feel it. Okay. One more breath here. And when you breathe in, come all the way up, breathe out, relax the hands. Okay, very good. You can come to your hands and knees. So bring in the leg, come on all fours, and try to put your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Okay, so you're standing quite straight. Pulling this in, otherwise it's hard to see what I'm doing maybe. Let's do it this way. Okay, if you want to, you can use your fists to stand on. For me it's easier. I have a little wrist problem, so this is more softer. If you do that, make sure to put the inside of the palms of your hands towards each other. That way you can straighten the wrists, otherwise you're twisting them, which makes it even harder. We're going to go to cat. You might know the pose. When you breathe in, round or hollow the back. Try to make it a very relaxed pose, okay? So just let your belly hang towards the ground. Keep on breathing. If you want to, you can lift the chin. So you take the neck along with the pose. If you don't want to, just keep the head neutral. When you breathe out, bring the belly up, round the back, tailbone down. You can bring your head in between your hands or your arms, You make a whole round back, and you can make that pose a little bit more active if you like. So you activate your belly muscles, and you can also activate your shins at the top of your feet. So you kind of push yourself off your mat. And when you breathe in, slowly release. Relax the belly, let it hang. Bring the head up, breathe out, round the back. So you can move along with your breath. When you breathe in, hollow and relaxed. When you breathe out, round back and a bit more active. And don't let your belly fall down when you breathe in. Try to guide it, try to keep some control over the movement, in and out. Like a little wave, just like a wave. In your own pace, if you want to wait a breathing of one breath in or out in the same pose, you can just do that. And maybe you feel like you want to make a circle. So you go towards the sides and then towards a round back and down towards the other side to a hollow back. You can basically move in any direction here. Try to feel what is good for you at the moment. You can go the other way if you like. Try to keep the hips as much as possible above the knees and the shoulders as much as possible above your hands or your wrists. So you keep the weight distributed evenly between the front and the back. That way you have a good balance. Okay. Try to come back to natural pose. Straighten the back. You can bring the hands out a little further in front of you if you want. You can bring the knees out towards the outside of your mat, and then slowly bring the hips down all the way towards the heels of your feet. You can relax your head on the ground, your forehead. You can stretch out. So we're going to make a little bit of an active child's pose, which means you can stretch your hands, activate your fingers. If you want to, you can lift your wrists off the ground. It might be nice after the all fours pose, because you're kind of turning your wrists and your hands the other way. You make it more active because you activate your hands and your entire arms. But if it's too much, just relax the hands on the floor. If that is too much, bring your hands towards your head and let your head relax on your hands. Then your head is a bit higher, your hands are closer to your body. So find a pose that works for you at this moment. Try to breathe slowly, relax the belly, and it can easily relax between your legs. Okay, because you have your knees out, belly has enough room to breathe. When you breathe in, it comes down towards the earth. Feel how it moves and relax. Child's pose is a very good pose to rest in. So anytime you need a breather, come to child's pose. One more breath here. And then you can come up a little bit with your head. Bring your hands on the ground, knees together again. And then you can walk your hands all the way forward until you can relax onto the floor. You can bring the hips down, so the hips are on the ground. If you want to, if you have some lower back issues, you can bring your feet out a little bit wider. The wider you bring out your feet, the less straining this pose is for the back. Otherwise, you can just bring your feet straight towards the back. And try to bring the elbows above your, under your shoulders. You can put the hands on your elbows to keep the exact height of your shoulders. Then bring your hands back forward on the ground. Relax the belly, relax the back. But if this is too much for you, like if this pose is too straining for the back, maybe the hollowing of the lower back is too difficult, the more you bring your hands forward, the lesser the hollowing of the back, okay? So make it as easy or as difficult as you like. But try to keep the elbows under the shoulders. That way the joints are on top of each other, and that is the steadiest way to keep this pose. Activate the shoulders a little bit. If you're very tired or if it's uncomfortable to activate your shoulders, you can just relax into it. Then you can release the head. You can kind of hang into your shoulders. That's okay in this pose. And if you want to make it active, you lift the sternum. Try to keep the head in line with your back. So you basically don't look forward too much, but more a little bit forward towards the ground. One more breath here. And then you can bring the left arm in, elbow still under the shoulder, left arm in front of you. Lift the right foot and bring the right arm backwards. And you can just hold your thumb up, open the shoulder, and stay like this. If you want to, you can hold your foot. Keep on breathing. If you have to pull too much towards your foot, just release it. If you have a lot of space, you can bring your hand on top of your foot and slowly bring it towards your hips. Only if that feels good. Don't push it. Your quadriceps is being stretched with this pose. And because we usually sit a lot, that muscle is very tough to stretch. So this can be really hard to do. Just hold it loosely or let it be like this, okay? Doesn't matter how far you get, it just matters that you can still breathe in the pose and feel like, okay, it's comfortable or a little bit uncomfortable, but not painful. I can do this. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. Release the foot if you have it. Bring it all the way down. Right hand in front of you. Keep the elbow under the shoulder. And then we're gonna go towards the left. Left hand towards the back. Bring the left foot up. You can hold it if you like. Otherwise, just bring them towards each other. Keep on breathing. Activate the shoulders. Try to keep the breathing as steady as it were when you were sitting down or being in child's pose. So if you feel that your breathing is going up a lot, make the pose a little bit easier. Just until you feel that you can breathe again. If you want to, you can just bring up your foot, keep both hands on the floor, or you can just bring your hands backward and keep both feet on the floor. Those are all choices you can make, and they're all good. Okay. If you have your foot, if you're holding your foot, slowly release. Bring it back towards the floor, both hands in front of you, and then slowly bring your head on top of your hands. You can just relax laying like this. You can bring your heels outwards and your toes towards each other. So the toes are maybe touching or don't touching, that doesn't really matter. They're just laying towards each other. Heels go outward. That way you can relax the back. Take a few breaths here. Slowly in and out. Just to release the back. The lower back mostly, but the shoulders as well. One more breath. And again, bring your hands on the ground, knees on the ground. If you want to, you can slowly come up with the chest first, but the best way to come up is to activate your belly muscles and try to bring the shoulders and the hips together so that the back is straight when you come up. And we're going to close the child's pose. So again, you bring your hips towards your heels, your knees are together. You can relax the head on the floor, and if you want to, you can bring both arms alongside your legs, alongside your body, towards the back. You can keep them in front of you, or again, you can bring your hands towards your head and rest your forehead on your hands. So any position is fine. Take a few breaths here. Try to establish how the back is feeling. Sometimes it's difficult to realize in a pose what it does or how your body reacts. And once you're out of that pose, you can feel all kinds of physical sensations. And try to be aware of that. Yoga is not about making the most difficult pose or being extremely flexible. It's about awareness, total awareness in the present, with your body, with your mind. One more breath in child's pose. Then slowly roll yourself back up into a hero pose, which can also be a very good resting pose. Try to feel if that's good for you, if you want to sit differently. Okay. From here, try to bring your feet together into a butterfly. You can bring your hands on your toes, over your toes. You can hold your ankles. If that's too much as well, just bring the hands backwards and you can lean backwards a little bit. So anything is fine. Sometimes I need to search for an English word, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, you can slowly just make that little butterfly with your knees, with your hips. Can be very small movement. Try to relax the belly again. Keep the breathing soft, slow. And you can always keep smiling, maybe just on the inside. Enjoy the moments. You know, you don't have to work hard for 40 minutes on your yoga mat. You can enjoy a minute and then enjoy the next minute. Or the next movement, or just the breathing. If you're lying down, enjoy the breathing and the relaxation. And you can also enjoy the fact that you made a choice of taking some time just for you, showing up for yourself. It's really nice and sometimes really hard to do. Saying, I need this time just for me. It can be very difficult. So kudos for you that you did it. You can bring the feet a little bit more towards the front so that it's easy to kind of make a square with your legs. You can bring them a little bit back, a little bit further forwards, doesn't matter. They usually find their natural way and then they just stop somewhere. You can either bring your hands on your feet or just in front of you. And we're going to roll into a forward butterfly. So you can just let your shoulders and your head hang. And then maybe you already feel that you're kind of leaning forward. Relax the head and the back. Try to relax your knees. If this is too much for the knees, you can next time you can bring something to put under your knees. Maybe you have yoga blocks or 2 big cushions, 2 other rolled up towels, for example, just to support your knees. That way the pose is way more easy if this is very straining for you. If you don't like it at all, you can stretch the legs forward. So you still make the forward bend, but not with the legs and the knees open and outwards, but with them stretched forward. And then you can still bend your knees slightly or just relax the entire leg on the floor. That's another way to do this pose. And maybe you already noticed that you can kind of sink into this pose. This is a perfect pose to deepen after a little bit of time. You start somewhere, and then with every time you breathe out, it feels like you can sink a little bit more with your head down, your shoulders relaxed. The entire back is just hanging forward. You don't have to activate or do anything in this pose. You can totally relax into it, sink into it. So if you're holding your feet, try not to pull. Keep the hands lightly on the feet or just in front of you. Keep the breathing soft and easy. One more breath here, and then we're slowly going to roll up again. If you want to, you can use your hands by placing them on the floor and pushing up a little bit with your hands. So you don't use your back, your head or your shoulders until you're sitting all the way up. If you want to, you can roll your shoulders again once or twice. And then we're going to go laying on our back. Let me see where my mic is at. Once you're on the back, you can bring the knees in. And you can just make small circles with the knees just to kind of massage the lower back onto the floor. And we worked the lower back today, so it deserves a little massage. If this is uncomfortable, just place your feet on the floor, a little bit wider or maybe mat wide, and you can just bring them from left to right. Okay, so this movement can also really be good to relax the lower back. It's a little less straining sometimes. So this is good. And if it feels better, lift the knees up and roll small circles with them to massage the lower back. Again, try to relax your face, relax the belly. Just enjoy the movement. If you're making circles, try to make them both ways. And then we're going to go again into that lying twist, which is always a very good pose for the lower back. You can, if you want to, you can bring the hips a little bit towards the left, then pull the knees up. So you always twist with a long lower back and then bring the knees towards the ground, towards the right. Or if that's too much because you kind of deepen the twist this way, just keep the back straight, pull the knees up, and then bring them towards the right. The right hand you can relax or either on the knees or just on the floor. The left hand goes towards the floor. So you try to open the chest, try to keep the right and the left shoulder both towards the ground. If the left shoulder is coming along with the right, so if it's kind of coming up, put something between the knees, maybe your cushion or your blanket or your book. Keep on breathing again. And in this pose, same as the last one, you can completely relax. So you don't have to hold anything. If you feel like you're holding tension in your foot or both feet or in your hips, Try to be aware of that and see if you can focus on it a little bit to let go. Again, every time you breathe out, it might be possible for you to get some tension, to get rid of some tension in parts of the body that kind of on their own use strength when they don't need to. Okay, one more deep breath here. And then slowly bring the knees back up. You can leave the feet on the floor, just bring them up if you want to. Make sure you straighten the back again if you moved with the hips. And then we're going to go the other way. If you want to, so that's an option, bring the hips slightly towards the right. Bring the knees up and roll them all the way towards the left. You can keep the left hand on the left knee if you want to. And you can bring the right all the way out. Ooh. And I have a little bit of, I feel that this way, for me, the other way around is different. Because I have a muscle, my gluteus maximus, I think, that is really tight today. A little bit painful, so I'm making the pose very soft. I'm going to focus on that area. Just by breathing, feeling that with the breath, I can relax that muscle a little bit. I can kind of sink into that pose. And it's important because otherwise that one muscle is going to determine how this pose feels for my entire body. So I have to be very aware that I can relax my shoulder, for example, my belly, my feet. And that I can focus my breathing on the muscle that it might be tight, but that's okay. That it can come along with the rest of the body, with the entire relaxation. And you can try that as well. Because if one muscle is painful or tight, usually other parts of the body want to kind of protect you from the pain. So they're going to work even harder. And then it's even more difficult to relax. And there's no wrong or right. It's not a mistake if you can't relax. It's a practice. And you can practice it as much and as many times as you like. And just being aware of what's happening inside your body is already a very deep and important practice that can be really tough, and that's okay. Every time you notice something inside yourself or about yourself, you're practicing, you should be proud. Okay. One more breath into this pose, and then we're going to come back up. So bring the knees all the way up, both knees. Make sure the back is straight again, and then we're going to go into Shavasana. So you can relax both of your legs on the floor. If you want to, bring the feet a little bit wider apart. That way the feet fall outwards and it relaxes the hips. You can bring the arms outwards as well. You can keep the hands on your belly, whatever feels comfortable for you. And in Shavasana, it's really important that you can completely let go of tension. So if you need a pillow under your head, if you need a blanket over your body, try to make sure you don't get cold. And you can focus on the breathing if you want. And notice how your breathing calms down almost immediately after you're lying down. Slowly goes in and out, almost automatically maybe towards the belly. And if it doesn't, just let it be where it is. You don't have to focus on it too much. You can if you want to. But you don't have to force anything in your breathing. You can just notice how you're breathing right now. How fast or how slow. And you could be aware maybe that your body is relaxing slowly in towards this Shavasana. Relax the face, the head and the shoulders. Relax the arms, the back and the belly, the hips, the legs and the feet. Everything is being carried by the ground, by the floor, by gravity. You don't have to hold any strength, tension or balance. All you can do is enjoy. We're going to stay here for one final breath. And I'll slowly try to start moving again. Maybe you want to make very small movements with your feet, with your hands. Maybe you want to draw circles with your wrists. You might want to stretch yourself all the way across the mat. Make yourself very long. And once you're ready, bring yourself onto your right side. Stay there for 1 or 2 moments just to kind of get on, maybe on a mat or on a chair if you want to. Anything is fine. Relax the hands on the legs or in your lap. Keep breathing. And you can focus again on the breath, on your body. Try to be aware what you notice. If you want to, you can bring your hands in Chin Mudra with the fingertips touching each other, the thumb and the index finger. And in this moment of meditation, you can try to find a certain stillness in your body, which can bring stillness and quietness, quiet time in the mind. Use it to observe your thoughts, your feelings, without judgment, without getting opinionated about what you think or what you feel. And if you do get an opinion about something, don't judge yourself about the opinion, otherwise there's no end. So self-compassion and understanding, self-reflection is a big part of yoga. It's a big part of meditation, which is part of yoga. But it's also, for a lot of people, for me as well, one of the most difficult parts. Because we're used to getting opinionated. We're used to judge what we feel or think, what we experience. But usually that's just the ego. And underneath is a very pure person that doesn't have to be opinionated, that doesn't have to judge. It's just there, it's sitting on the mat, on the chair right now, breathing, enjoying a quiet moment, taking some time, and that's all there is. Everything that's happening inside you or around you, something you can observe from that pure place, from that neutral place. And then you can slowly bring your hands together in front of your heart. And yoga is about love. It's about love for yourself, self-compassion, It's about loving other people and about love between you and everything on this creation. You are a part of everything, and everything is a part of you. Namaste. I would like to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching the video if you didn't catch it live. Tomorrow we are going to have another yoga stream every Tuesday till Friday. Tomorrow it's at 8:45. Half an hour Hatha Yoga to activate the body to warm up. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to know, if you have any tips or requests, please just leave them either in the chat or in the comments so that I can answer them. Otherwise, I'm hoping you're going to have a really great evening. I hope to see you next time. Take your time. If you want to relax a little bit longer, or if you like to do a little bit longer Shavasana, just lay back down on your mat and enjoy your own time, okay? I'm just gonna... Hi, Chuck, Dizzy Bird. Good to see you all. Hi, hi. Any time for questions? Sure, Wilfried. Just ask. I'm just gonna adjust a little bit. But yes, of course. If you have any questions, please just ask. I'm just gonna be here. I'm not in a hurry at all. Did you plan to put some music? No, I deliberately don't use music because it kind of distracts you from what it is you really want to feel. Usually then your attention goes towards your music and it's a distraction from your own feelings or thoughts. So it's kind of counterproductive usually to use music. It's up to you. If you feel like you need some music, sometimes in the beginning it can help because otherwise the silence can be too much or too heavy. But after a while, I would definitely try to not use music to make sure that you can completely keep the focus inside, so it's not distracting you. But yeah, it's like you said, it's okay. If you want music, use music. There are a lot of yoga teachers and practitioners that use music, but I never do because it's one more thing that kind of keeps you away from what's happening inside. Yeah, and it's good to accept what you're feeling in the silence. I don't know if you know Yin yoga, but that's a yoga pose where it's yoga where you sit 5 minutes in each pose, which is completely relaxed. It's a little bit like we're doing, only even longer. And that can be really tough because you kind of put yourself in silence in 5 minutes, which can be very long. It feels like an hour. But I would definitely practice without music sometimes and just see if you can, do it with or without music sometimes. Whatever feels comfortable for you. It's always your choice, okay? Let me see. To activate some. To activate some part of the body, I would just focus on that part in the first place. But it also kind of comes with a pose. Sometimes a pose is meant for the hips, for example. It's more meant for the legs or more for the shoulders. And then you can, usually it's easier to pay attention to that part because you activate that part, because you feel that part. If you stretch up your hand, you kind of feel your shoulder, and it's easier to pay attention to your shoulder because it's activated. So that sometimes helps to be aware of your body. And over time, it will be easier to bring your attention towards some parts of your body even if you don't activate them. But it's a practice. Yeah, and you'll also notice sometimes that it's very easy, for example, for you to feel your hips, but it's impossible almost to feel your shoulders, for example. And that will, over time, become a little bit more balanced because you learn to work with your body. Yeah, is that what you mean? Yeah, okay, no worries. Questions are fine. Any tips for the neck to relax? There are a lot of practices for the neck. I have some videos from somewhere in the last months, 2-3 months, that are to relax shoulders and neck. I think they're in English. I'm not quite sure. I will definitely do some more streams for neck and shoulders because there are a lot of exercises. Yeah, if you have blocks there, it's easy to. My first yoga since the gym closed. Okay, yeah, it's important to very important for the neck. It's very very sensitive. A lot of nerves there. So always everything you do with neck and shoulders, make it very soft. Never like stretch it really hard so you feel the stretch. Just let it hang softly for 5 minutes. 5 minutes the other side, 5 minutes down. For example, that can help already to stretch. But if you check the videos, there are videos for neck and shoulders, and I'll definitely pay attention towards it a little bit more in the stream, so that you can try that. But most important thing, to be soft, to be very gentle with the neck, because people try to stretch it and they usually do more damage. Yeah, just try to find it. If it isn't there, it will definitely come up in the stream, and otherwise I'll make a separate video for it. Okay. Yeah, I hope it's in English. I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now. I think so. I think it was in English, but not quite sure. Okay. Ah, thank you. I had a great time too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.